Today we're doing math page 113 and 114. Reducing fractions. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And as we look at the yellow box at the top, it says, to reduce a fraction to the lowest terms, divide the numerator and the denominator by the greatest common factor, the GCF. We've been learning about that. The greatest common factor is the largest number that will evenly divide into the numerator and the denominator. And so our question would be, what would our GCF for 4 and 8 be? What's the GCF for 4 and 8? The greatest number that goes into 4 and 8 would be, and it says it over here, 4. 4. And so what we have to then do is divide both the top number, the 4, by our GCF, by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And then the bottom number by the GCF, which is 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And you get a reduced fraction of half. It still has the same value, but it's just reduced. And if you look at the picture, if somebody brought you your favorite pizza, I think you'd be okay if it was cut like this or like this. Because it's the same amount of pizza, it just is cut differently. And so 4/8 equals half. We're going to learn a little bit more about that, of how to make fractions smaller, but they'll still have the same value. So we look at 1. It says reduce these fractions to lowest terms after determining the greatest common factor, the GCF. And the first one is 4/8. What's funny about that one is they did it up here, so that's going to be really easy for us. Our GCF is 4. 4 goes into 4 one time, and 4 goes into 8 two times, and it's 1/2 for our first answer. Okay, now B, what would the GCF for 2 and 6? What would the greatest common factor, the greatest number that goes into both 2 and 6? The highest number that goes into both is 2. So now you divide them both by 2. First you divide your top number by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then you divide your bottom number by 2. 2 goes into 6 3 times. And your reduced fraction is 1/3. And I want to show you what a picture would look like if you had two circles here. And I'll take the 2 6 and put it in this one. We'll divide this into 6 parts. And imagine that I drew perfectly and that they're even. Well, 2 out of 6 parts would look like this. And then if I was to do 1/3, would look like this. And if I drew these perfectly, it'd be the exact same. It'd be the exact same. Let's go ahead and do this next one. 5/10. What goes into 5 and 10? What is our GCF for 5 and 10? 5 is. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 10 two times. Okay, D, we have 3 and 9. What is our GCF for 3 and 9? It's 3. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 9 3 times. E, what goes into 8 and 24? What is our GCF for 8 and 24? The highest number that goes into both is going to be 8. 8 goes into 8 one time. 8 goes into 24 3 times. Oops. 1/3. F, what's the highest number that goes into both 6 and 10? That would be 2. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 10 5 times. GCF for G would be 5. 5 goes into 5 1 time. 5 goes into 15 3 times. And GCF for H would be 2. 2 goes into 2 1 time. 2 goes into 4 2 times. Okay, let's look at number 2. It says to add, reduce the fractions if necessary. Alright, so I'll start with 2a. 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 9 more would be 17. Plus 8 more would be 25. So I'm going to put a 5 here and carry my 2. 2 plus 7 is 9. Plus 3 is 12. Plus 5 is 17. 9 plus 1 is 10. Plus 4 is 14. Plus 5 is 19. Plus 6 is 25. B, we have 1/18, 1/18, 1/18. So our 18 stays the same. We have 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that's 3. Four plus 8 is 12. Plus 9 is 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 2 is 5. Plus 3 more is 8. Now, remember our directions told us to reduce the fraction if necessary. What that means is we got to think about if there is a number besides 1 that goes into 3 and 18. Is there a GCF for 3 and 18? What goes into both 3 and 18? Is there something besides 1? Yes. 3 goes into both. So we're going to reduce this fraction. 3 goes into 3 1 time. 3 goes into 18 6 times. We get 81 and 1, 6. Okay, now we'll look at C. 8 plus 5 would be 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. Plus 9 more would be 17. Carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 2 more is 7. And we need to bring down our decimal point and make a dollar sign. $77.03. D, 3 plus 1 is 4. Plus 8 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. 1 plus 7 is 8. Plus 5 more would be 13. Plus 2 is 15. Plus 9 is 24. 2 plus 6 is 8. Plus 9 would be 17. Plus 4 would be 21. Plus 7 would be 28. Put our comma in there and circle it. Okay, we got mixed numbers for E. We'll put our 12 down. 1 plus 1 plus 1. 4 ones will be 4 twelfths. Let's do our whole numbers now. 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 4 more is 11. Plus 5 would be 16. 1 plus 8 is 9. Plus 5 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. Plus 8 would be 23. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 9 would be 13. Plus 3 would be 16. Plus 2 more would be 18. Now here we have to reduce, because there's a GCF for 4 and 12 besides 1. 4 goes into both 4 and 12. 4 goes into 4 1 time. 4 goes into 12 4 times. And so I'm just rewriting our whole answer here. 1, 8, 3, 6, and 1/4. And that is our answer. Okay, 3a, we're going to subtract here. 5 minus 9 we can't do. We have to borrow from the 3. It becomes a 2. 15 minus 9 we can do. We get 6. 2 minus 3 we can't do. We got to go all the way over and borrow from the 9. We get 8. This becomes 10. Borrow from the 10, it becomes 9. And now we have 12. 12 minus 3 would be 9. 9 minus 7 would be 2. And 8 minus 8 is nothing. So we get $2.96. $2.96. B, we'll put our 13 down below. And now we do 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 would be 5. 3 minus 7 we can't do, so we've got to borrow from our 6, and it becomes a 5. Now we have 13 minus 7. We can do that. We get 6. 5 minus 2, we get 3. So our answer is 36 and 5/13. There's nothing that goes into both 5 and 13 besides 1, so it can't be reduced, so we're all done. C, 5 minus 3 would be 2. So we get 2/8. 2 minus 6 we can't do, so we have to borrow all the way over from the 8. It becomes 7. That becomes 10. And we borrow from the 10, that becomes 9. And now we have 12 minus 6. It looks like it crossed out the 2. Let me redo that. 12 minus 6, we get 6. 9 minus 4, we get 5. 7 minus 1, we get 6. Now this one, 2 and 8, is there a number that goes into both 2 and 8? Yes, 2 does. So we got to change this. 2 goes into 2 1 time, 2 goes into 8 4 times. And so now we've reduced it like the directions told us. Five minus 7 you can't do, so we borrow from the 2. 15 minus 7 we can do. We get 8. And we borrowed from the 2, so we're left with 1 here. 1 minus 8 we can't do, so we borrow from the 6. It becomes 5. And I just lost it all. You guys go ahead and finish D and E on your own. Remember to reduce if it can be reduced. Go ahead and look at the story problem on the back side. Number 4A. It says, Todd usually walks to his school, Wilson Christian Academy. It takes less than 15 minutes. When it is raining, Todd's mom drives him to school. This is faster than walking, but it takes more than 5 minutes. Give all the possible answers for the number of minutes that it takes Todd to walk to school. This one's kind of hard. We know that it takes less than 15 minutes. So what's less than 15 minutes? Well, could be 14 minutes, could be 13 minutes, could be 12 minutes, could be 11 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be 9 minutes, could be 8 minutes, could be 7 minutes, and could be 6 minutes. Now you couldn't go any less though, because it says it takes more than 5 minutes. So it's kind of a weird answer, but our answer is all of these numbers, and you just circle those and you got it right. Those are all the possible amount of minutes. Now Ethan wanted to buy a new bike, which costs $125. He had already saved $37. He earned $14 mowing the neighbor's grass. How much more money does he need to buy the bike? So let's figure out how much he has. He already has $37 he saved. He just earned $14, so we got to put those together. 37 plus 14. 4 plus 7 would be 11. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 more would be 51. So he has $51 right now. And it's asking how much more does he need? Well, we know he needs to get 125. So I'm going to take the 125 and subtract what he already has, and then we'll know how much more he needs. 5 minus 1 is 4. 12 minus 5 is 7. He needs $74 more. I'm going to have you do the rest on your own. And before you do, let me help you with something. I want to show you a picture of a well. This is kind of interesting. See, we have the luxury, we are so privileged that we can just turn on a faucet and water will come out. And this is actually a well in Africa. And it's this shaped thing here, that's the well. And there's actually a hole down in it that goes deep into the ground. And I'll show you some other pictures here. Here's another picture of a well. And so if somebody needed water, they'd have to walk wherever the well is, even if it's far away, if they didn't have a faucet. And they'd take their pitcher of water, tie it onto this rope, and it probably goes down and comes back up here. And they lower it into the well, they get their water, and then they have to, I'm sure this would get heavy once water's in it. And they have to lift it up, pull that rope slowly, and bring it back up to the top, and then they have some water. Now, there's something really interesting I want to share with you about a well. If you're down in the bottom of a very deep well, and you look up in the sky, even if it's daytime in the sky, you will see stars. It'll be like the night sky, and you will be able to see the stars in the sky. It's pretty amazing. Hopefully that helps you to get the rest of your math page done. Also, this is one of our old presidents of the United States. You know what's kind of cool? I'll tell you something cool about him. He was able, with one hand, he could write in the language of Latin, and with the other hand, he could write in Greek at the exact same time. So he could write in two different languages at the exact same time with separate hands. You should try to do it after your math page. See if you can write at the same time, even in just English, with both hands. We'll see how hard that'd be. This is kind of like another person who we'll learn about in art this year, Leonardo da Vinci. That's a picture of him. And he was able to draw with one hand and make these incredible drawings, and then write with the other at the same time. This is something that's kind of amazing. There's a place called the Dead Sea. Now, if you were to go here, and you were with your family, and your family let you go outside and play in the water, your parents would never say to you, hey, be careful, don't drown, because it's impossible to drown in the Dead Sea. 25% of it is salt, which makes the water very heavy. And because of it, the body's extremely buoyant. Everybody just kind of floats on it. And because of that, it's pretty much impossible to be submerged. You can't dive down in it. It'll just push you back up. And so you're not able to drown. After math, you have to go see if you can find where it is on the map. Go ahead and get started, though. Do the rest on your own. You guys are the smartest kids. Smartest kids ever.